Welcome to Lockdown Music. On this show, we hear how Belfast based singer Jackie Rainey had to swap being on tour with Sinead O'Connor for singing live from her drive, and how Kerry Shanos singer Claire Horgan had her big tour in the States cut short by COVID and became a Facebook star instead, and also how Northern Ireland's Gary Quinn is in the midst of releasing 3 new singles, and how the Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival is going virtual for the first time. The Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival has helped launch some brilliant musical careers, including that of Kaz Hawkins, now based in France, and Gareth Dunlop. Gareth first went to the festival when he was a very talented teenager, according to festival director Colin McGee.
Even Gareth Dunlop, when he was 13, he came to one of our workshops. Can you believe that? And quite a few others like that. So it's been lovely seeing people actually maybe starting out with their first song, and then they've gone on to write some beautiful music,
and be extremely successful. People like Kaz Hawkins, for instance.
Kaz, yes, I love Kaz's songs, and she's doing very, very well now. Again, I think Kaz was one of those people who kind of was singing other people's songs, and then she came to the Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival, and she picked up a pen and thought, I think I'll just try writing my own songs. And of course, she's gone on to write she's a very, very talented songwriter, and she's writing beautiful songs now. So,
be all that I want it to be. This is me, and I can deal with it. This is all I want it to be. This is me. This is all I want it to be. This is me. Yes. This is all I wanted. Yes, it's all I wanted. This is me.
We've had people in the past like Mundy, and we've had Brian Kennedy and people like that, and we've asked them to come back again. So there's 2 of the people we're going to have. We're going to have Bonita Hill from Nashville again.
Now I'm on a roll, and I swear to my soul, tonight I'm gonna paint this town. So bring me 2 pina coladas. I want one for each hand. Let's set sail with Captain Morgan and never leave dry land. Troubles I've forgotten, I buried them in the sand. So bring me 2 pina coladas, Mr. Pineapple Coconut Man. La la la, 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 la la.
And you've got a lot of younger artists, people up and coming, people like Lucy Bell, absolutely stunningly amazing singer-songwriter.
Yes, and Lucy won. She was Pan Arts Young Songwriter of the Year for us about 2 or 3 years ago, and we've featured Lucy about 3 years in a row. And she's at university at the minute, but she's still writing great songs.
And tell me why everything feels fine when you're next to me. And why do we lie? We know it's only right when you're next to me. So won't you come give me love? 'Cause I only wanna be alone with you.
And this year we're doing it, obviously it's different because of this terrible COVID crisis that we're all living through. So everything's online, and we decided to make absolutely everything free in the Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival. So all the events are free, all the songwriting workshops are free, and people can just tune in between the 4th and the 6th of March. The other good news is too, we're going to make them free after the festival, and people can come in, and the ones that they miss out on, they can come back. You know, they'll be able to watch them for several weeks afterwards. So it's going to be good.
One of the other young local stars appearing at this year's festival is internet prodigy Owen Denver. His music has gained over 2 million views on social media and has garnered positive attention from Coldplay and BBC Radio 5.
I'm waiting for a green light, 'cause I ain't got your number. Now the God is only white light from the talk of all the others. Oh, do you need me? Are you in demand? 'Cause I got room in my world for two, and if you want to, I can show you how. Tell me, does it feel right? Oh, 'cause I've been thinking that it just might. Do you need me? Are you in demand? 'Cause I got room in my world for two, and if you want to, I can show you how.
I'm very excited about the workshops because we've got this lovely partnership with Belmont University in Nashville, who have a university degree course in songwriting. And we've got 3 or 4 of their fabulous teachers taking part in our workshops. So that's going to be very special.
Thanks, Colin. Here's hoping for a highly successful Belfast Nashville again this year. Local musician Jackie Rainey got the chance to go on tour with Sinead O'Connor last year, a truly well-deserved opportunity for the talented and energetic full-time performer.
And I will have you with me in my arms only. For you are only my love, my love, my love.
Came out of the blue, very excited, very nervous. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was, what can you say? You get a chance to go off, and I love traveling as well. So traveling and playing music together is just heaven for me. Yeah.
And fairly big auditoriums as well. I mean, they weren't small venues,
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, I mean, I've played big stages before, but normally it's when there's a whole show of other people. And it's like run on stage, get everything set up, play, run off. It's quite a stressful environment. Whereas with this, you're there in the afternoon, you're set up, you're sound checked, you've got any monitors, which was a new thing for me to get used to. Just heaven, because I'm used to being the person who's playing it, setting it all up, playing it while doing the sound desk and while keeping an eye on somebody who's about to fall over on top of you. It was very luxury in those terms.
But of course, we, in the middle of all of it, or maybe not even in the middle, right at the start nearly of all of it, we heard about COVID, and we heard about the end of, at least for the meantime, live gigs.
I mean, we got a decent enough run in. We got around Ireland and UK, Isle of Man, and then over to Europe and across Italy and Germany and Holland, and it was great to get a couple of weeks from that, and did the whole tour bus thing. That was on my bucket list, so to tour in a tour bus was with a proper big sleeper one, so that was good. And then we went to America and did down California, and we were in Canada as well. So this was all brilliant. And then we were home for a few weeks and heading to Chicago for March, and flew out March 13th and back March 16th. We had to go to Chicago. We were contracted to do the shows, and then it was actually cancelled on soundcheck on stage, which I was probably pretty relieved about, because we didn't know what way it was going.
But musically, it must have been a real disappointment, because you start on the kind of tour process, and you get more gigs and you get better known, you get better chances to do bigger stuff for yourself. So that must have been disappointing for you.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I got the chance to do it. I'm just extremely grateful that I got the chance to do it and to experience it, and everything that goes with it. It was just a dream come true to do it. There is, I mean, I'm not. I acknowledge there is some disappointment, but it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. There has been upsides to it as well. So I think it's about balancing those. And sometimes there's things I've thought have been the worst thing in the world, and it turned out that they really haven't. And it's led to other things. So I just don't know, and I have to trust that I don't know, and maybe that will become apparent in time.
I want to grab that positive note that you're ending on in that reply, Jackie, and just ask you, where do you think or hope you're going next after lockdown is over?
I'd like to gig again. I mean, in between the turn as well, I had a list of gigs at home, which I loved, at different venues. I'm not sure how many of those will be able to come back, just with size. And I enjoy writing lately, so maybe I'll do a bit more of that. But I'd like to go back to gigging, and hopefully that will happen. As to the touring thing, I have no idea. What things change, but things change all the time. That could have changed at any point while I was touring.
Talking about things changing, of course, you've been gigging live in the Drive.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Where did that idea come from?
Big part of it is gigging together, and we enjoy that. And it was hard not doing it, and it was more for our mental health than anything else. So it was nice. We'd set up in the back lane and live streamed it, and there were all the neighbours down the street having a glass of wine or whatever, and we'd play, and then you'd hear from way down the street this, and a few whoops, and it was really nice. And we had very patient neighbours, because we did a couple of gigs in the house with full PA and drum kit, so very understanding neighbours. Although one set did move out during lockdown,
but there were some lovely comments. You were getting lovely comments during your live gigs on Facebook, so a lot of people, it wasn't just for your mental health, Jackie.
It was nice. It was very, very nice. And it was nice to see all the names pop up. We'd read the comments afterwards, and then that was really nice to just chill out and see what people were up to, and the fun that people would have with each other. Like somebody go, I'm going to the bar, what do you want? And they had all this fun. Yeah, just fun.
Well, Jackie, it's been an absolute delight and joy to catch up with you, to talk to you here on Lockdown Music, to hear how positive you are, how creative you are, and looking forward to hearing lots more of you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. It's lovely to speak to you. Jackie
Rainey, who will hopefully get to see back playing live gigs again before too long. Another local artist who got his big start at the Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival is Gary Quinn. He's a 5-time winner at the British Country Music Association Awards. He's currently in the process of releasing 3 new singles. Here's one of the songs that launched his career a few years back.
Another missed call on the telephone. He recognizes that number as home, but he works on hoping his promotion's due. But she's the one doing overtime, lying awake, going out of her mind, and always last on his list of things to do. There was a time when she filled up the slots in his diary, but the little things he used to do now a memory. Like when he'd ask about her day, bring her home a little gift, hold her in his arms till she lightly drifts off to sleep. Or maybe listen to her worries, share a bottle of wine, instead of overusing that three-worded line, and think she'll be alright. He might say he loves her, but he don't show her anymore.
You know, you've got the guy who's spending all his time at work and not working on his marriage, focusing on promotions. But actually, if he'd have put an nth of that into his relationship, you know, she was the one that was working overtime because she's at home worrying about him at work. You know, if he'd have just put a little bit of that into the relationship, would it be okay? And I actually leave the song on a bit of a cliff edge. You know, you can make your own mind up as to whether they make it work or not.
Talking about things working, we're in a situation now. Obviously, we're all coping with lockdown. Musicians are hit quite hard by not being able to play to audiences, not being able to generate income. And in your case, also you're doing the homeschooling as well. So you know, there's a lot happening. How are you dealing with lockdown?
I've been actually okay. You know, thank God. You know, I've touched base with my parents back home in Ireland regularly. My sister Shauna there as well, and catch up with my nephews. And I've got my two children here that I see them, you know, Wednesday through Friday. So I'm homeschooling on those days too. And just that regular contact with those that you love, I think, is hugely important. So I can't say enough for that. You know, just lifting a phone to see somebody's face, and technology and how we can use it now has been massive for that. But as a musician, I think where I've been hit the hardest is just not being able to get out and about and see those people in my own industry and fans and that regular contact that you would have had at gigs, at festivals, even at meetings and songwriter sessions and that sort of thing. So that's been a tough side of it, really, and obviously the financial impact that has too. But thankfully, you know, I've been okay. I can get my head into writing, focus on the kids when they're here. And I have new music that I managed to record out in Sweden at the back end of November last year. So just currently in the midst of that project and releasing new tracks over the next couple of months.
Another shot of whiskey, I've seen that look before. The way you're dancing with me, you've got me wanting more. We go so good together, we've both been friends forever. So between you and me, baby, stop saying it's complicated when you're talking differently.
Complicated is the second of a 3-single release. So there was a single I released back in January called Nobody Somebody, which has got great traction on Spotify and iTunes. It's got good airplay here in the UK, starting to get some in America. So that's been really exciting to see how that's been received. And this is just following up on that, really, to try and show that I've evolved as an artist, as a writer, but still retaining that lyrical strength, hopefully, that whenever people hear it, they can just automatically think, yeah, it's a Gary Quinn song. So hugely excited about getting the opportunity to put out music at a time when we feel our industry's been closed. There are other things that we could be getting on with just to keep our name relevant, keep our hand in, as they would say, and ensure that once this lockdown is safely navigated, that we're in a position to say, hey, I've put this music out and I'm here to play it. So that's what's been really exciting.
It's so obvious when you watch you on stage that you love the audience loves you, and you get such a buzz out of the performance. How much are you looking forward to getting back to playing on stage again?
Yeah, I can't wait, to be fair. This lockdown has really highlighted that, you know, that it's something that you probably take for granted as a performer. You just think, well, look, that's what you do. You release music and you go out and perform it. And once that part has been taken away, you don't just realize that you miss the impact that has on how you navigate the industry, but actually what it does for your soul. You know, I was always told you do stuff that's good for the soul, you do stuff that's good for the wallet. If you can find something that marries both together, then you're doing okay. But certainly the performing side is so good for the soul. To have that immediate reaction to a song, to hear people sing one of their favorites back along with you, is just a huge uplifting experience that I can't wait to replicate. So that's definitely a highlight I'm looking for after June 21st, fingers crossed.
Never gonna be the guy with 3 cars in the driveway, or standing on the main stage, spotlight pointing my way. You got me living the dream. Finally, I'm just me being me. You made this nobody somebody, somebody.
That was Gary Quinn and Nobody Somebody, which is gaining good traction for him on Spotify. Kerry singer Claire Horgan came to my attention on Facebook with glorious songs from a beautiful setting. The Kerry-born Sean-nós singer absorbed the music and the language by osmosis.
So shame my dear, he's the bordy Nur a squealer der knoi biscor the royer Kya chlore knaga see a gross morphile.
She began a successful international career as a jazz singer at the age of 16 when she first heard Frank Sinatra sing this song.
In the wee small hours of the morning, while the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the boy and never ever think of counting sheep.
She was midway through a very promising tour of America when the coronavirus outbreak literally stopped the show in Boston, and she had to come home to Ireland.
I thought, okay, this is a glitch. I'll still go to Alaska, I'll still do my New York gigs. And then my family started ringing me going, what time are you coming home? It's like, I'm not coming home, I'm here. It's killed me to get here, I'm not going home. And they're like, well, if you don't come home by tomorrow at 5 o'clock, you're not coming home at all. And I thought, well, them's is the breaks, I'll stay here, you know. And they're like, no, you can't do that. You don't have anywhere to live and you won't have any work. And I thought, I don't care. I'm not going back to the depths of Ballinskelligs in the winter. But that's exactly where I ended up, on a plane with another 12 people, of which all of them were traditional Irish musicians, in mourning on the plane, and an empty plane on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, so that was it, and I came home, and it was a huge shock to the system. But the impetus that I'd gained while I was there, the people I'd met, the support that had been just thrown at me like a tsunami was, you know, I feel guilty when people are depressed about the pandemic, because it'll take a decade to dampen my enthusiasm, because it was such a positive.
And the wonderful thing for us is that coming home and that energy you got from being on tour has translated into some fabulous Facebook Live performances by you as you're out walking, seeing the sunset, a song comes into your head or your heart, and you share it with us. It's absolutely wonderful stuff, Claire.
I'm in a really spectacular place, but I'm on the flat, so you can't actually see the beach, which is right behind my house, because I'm on the same level as it. Whereas you go up, only a half a mile up to Kilreelig, you go out the door and turn left to my house, and you're up, you know, another 500 feet, and the view is just unbelievable of Scariff and Deenish, the Bull, the Cow and the Calf, all these islands. Bolus Head is where you're looking from, and you're looking out towards Cardaniel and in the far ground to Beara Peninsula. So across to Waterville, the village where I grew up.
Before she went to the States, Claire was invited to sing as part of the BBC production The Story of Ireland, presented by Fergal Keane.
In singlaun tanuig nach in a mean magra. Bean miller look around, meruchter is godus an oir, bean a green fivla. Neil grey do gam,
Krishna the cruel ta kala is kona neklong is bod ta tilabuan is nil trust na cruel don't take for so
When I arrived, I probably had 20 minutes to have makeup slapped on me and decide what song to sing. And that's the great, beauty of Sean-Nós, that it's kind of portable. And I said, well, I could sing a song about the area, or I could sing a song about a woman who doesn't have Cead Cuarta. She doesn't, Níl Gael Dúig. And I started talking in Irish, and I said, do you have any Irish? And he said very slowly, Cúpla Focal, in a kind of a Dublin accent. And I thought, oh, right, okay. And then he proceeded to present most of the programme in the most beautiful Irish. So I felt like, very embarrassed.
It wouldn't be the first time Fergal came across that in his career, and I'm sure it won't be the last. He'll have taken no harm from it.
Being patronised by a whippersnapper from down the road.
You're very positive about what was happening on tour for you in the States before we got struck by coronavirus, and you're still positive looking forward. How hopeful are you that you can pick it all up again and go back to the States and develop your touring capacity?
I'm not hopeful. I'm absolutely certain, and I'm determined. But also, I felt in a way maybe that I was rejected in Ireland, and I had to go away. A bit like the, said in this 40s, 50s, 60s, that there wasn't work. But then when I applied to go, and I applied for tours, and the visa was refused, or just they didn't process it the previous year, and I had cancelled gigs, I'd cancelled work, and so I headed off on my own to these independent festivals, and the response I got to singing in Ireland, even from just kind of getting my stuff sorted to get ready to go to America, was amazing, and people were so nice. And when you're appreciated by your own, that's huge. That's actually bigger than anything. And I felt like I went away then with the blessing of people from home, which was really lovely. So to me, it's not about where you sing, really. It's about how determined you are, how good you are, and I hope I'm adequate. And it's about how much you love it. It's not about ego. It never has been for me. It's about kind of this sense of absolutely having to do it. And one of the big reasons that I ended up back with the Sean-Nós thing, and I make it sound like the only thing I can sing because I'm stuck here, and there is an aspect of that, but I realised at the age of 38 I was the oldest Sean-Nós singer in the area, and I thought, oh my God, that's my job.
Thanks to Claire Horgan, to Gary Quinn, to Jackie Rainey, and to all at the Belfast Nashville Songwriters Festival. Be sure to join me, Mike Gaston, for more amazing stories and music in Lockdown Music next time. See you then. Bye.